Hello, you guys. Wayne again, one-on-one animation, and this is going to be part two of the different ways of animating. Part one was I showed you a demo of this character right here, of him taking off his hat, and what I did that straight ahead. This one is going to be pose to pose. So through this, hopefully you'll understand the difference of it. Not hopefully, you'll understand it. So let's get started here. I'm going to, let me bring him up a bit. And if you remember, here was this guy, then he ended up here. He took his hat off and then he ended up in this pose. And what I did in the first one was I just had him animate. I animated him straight ahead and he just took off his hat. Well, in this one, now I'm going to show you the process of working pose to pose, which is what I like. I like pose to pose animation, that process, most of the time when I'm animating. Let me get him a little more situated here. Okay, so first of all, we're going to look at this pose, and here's our next pose. This is the end pose, where after he takes off his hat, this is his attitude. So, but it's really, from here to here, they look like two different characters. So, if I'm doing this pose to pose, I'm going to be able to keep them more on model. Now, I don't have a model sheet of this character. I just sort of made them up. But when you got the model sheet, it makes life much easier. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a drawing in after the first drawing. And hold on one sec, please. I need to get this. Whoa, and that is way too vibrant. Okay, so there's this first pose, and I'm working in to this area somewhere in here. I'm not, I don't have to put exactly there, but somewhere roughly in there. So I'm going to do that on a new drawing. So I'll just come in, and I'm going to basically just follow his proportions here. There it is. Pretty simple scene. We got nothing in there that's showing the. Sorry. There, that's better. We have nothing here showing the actual movement of him taking the hat off. And I'm going to come here, get rid of that drawing. Don't need it. And we got our two keys. Guess it looks like I'm kind of should have gone with a character I know more. But that's good enough. Okay, so there he is, and those are two key drawings right here. Okay, the two, so people call them extremes. You can call them extremes. The first key drawings. What I do is I create my key drawings that I'm going to be working in and out of, and from there I put in what is known as breakdowns, and I do a set of breakdowns. I'll do my first set of breakdowns, and then I'll do more breakdowns, and I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. So I'm going to go from here. And I'm thinking to myself, I'll just do something simple. I'm gonna have him come up slightly. Head's going back that way slightly. Nose. This is not an in-between. Understand, this is not an in-between. The breakdowns are the drawings that are going to describe how he goes in between. How they describe the action of how he goes to those keys. So he comes up slightly and everything's gonna come up. Only way I could tell if it's working, see, I'm working out of the first one. Put a little stretch in that neck as he comes up. Means the hat's gonna go back. Going away and foreshortening. This comes down. If this head comes up, the axis of the head tilt is going to bring our ear down and forward a little bit. And I'll move the body up just slightly there. Everything's moving just a little bit. Now I'm checking my volumes out. I'm going to come back here, like that, a little longer. On this, I'm just deciding right now. Yes, shoulder comes up, but I'm just gonna barely have the arm come up. Maybe on this one, I'll bring it out like just a little bit up like that. Oops. I like it a little bit bigger. That's my personal preference. Arc of the hat comes up. We're seeing underneath the visor a little bit. This is subtle. I'm not going to put any drag on the hat at this point. just working rough right now. And there are times I work much rougher than this. Alright. This is where I'm going to focus. I'm going to make sure I'm getting some kind of control in these volumes. Okay, so we can think of this as a anticipation. And now I'm going to try to figure out, should have done thumbnails. I'm going to come up with a key pose that is going to show him grabbing his hat. That will be my next drawing. Okay, the little button on the top. There. And just like what I was talking about before, when the head tilts, show you profile here, you got an ear here. When the head tilts up, that's going to bring the ear down, and it's just the opposite if it tilts down, like so. So here it is on just a side view. Now it's tilted up, that ear goes down, and when it tilts down, the ear goes up. Okay, let's leave those there. Okay, so he's grabbing the hat, back to drawing. Okay. Now, I'm going to put in another one that is going to describe how the hat comes off. And it's up to me. That's the thing I want you to understand. I could have it to where the hat comes up over in this direction as he pulls it with the hand, which that will work, and he would maybe stay down here for a little bit. Maybe he'll start to move just slightly. And just to show you example, so I could do that, have the hat, put some drag in the hat as it's getting pulled down this way. But anyway, here's the force of the big shape, hand coming up, and he's maybe coming up just slightly. Eye line, center line, nose. And he's taking the hat off, going in that direction, while, let's see, come here, while this hand might be going back down that way. Here's crossing that shape right there to get that snap. It's the drag of the hand going in there. I'll just show the hat coming up, getting pulled off, coming up that way. And what I want you to know, so this is one way I could do it. So that's a breakdown describing the action. It's describing what's going on between the major keys. So I could have it that way, or I'm not saying this would work. I could go this way. But you have multiple choices. That's why it's always good to do thumbnails, because that way you're already clear about it. Let me see. Oh, don't know why it's saying that. It is working. I'll try something else. Let me see. He's gonna come down that arc. Maybe I'll have him tilt his head that angle, and he's coming almost straight on view. And I'll have his eyes closed. This will work too. I'll just go with this one. And instead of it going so high up like I had before, I'll just have the hand come slightly up. Except I want it to go, I'm going to have it going slightly up and out this way. So he has a counteraction going here, where when he's pulling his arm down that direction, but he's going back, his head, torso is going up and back. I'll put some, just for the fun of it, put some stretch into that hat. Right there. And I see it. That's the important thing too. Know when you put down a line, be conscious, be focused that that line is going to represent something. So when I put these lines down, you can see I'm just putting these, and everyone's different in the way that they draw and approach it. But for me, I put that line down, and that will tell me immediately if I'm getting that sort of stretch or tension I want to get in the hat. Okay, that works good for this test. Okay, so before I do anything, let me just take a look. Okay, comes down there. I know Notice how I keep touching stuff up. I just find stuff as I keep looking at. I know that I'm going to put another drawing between this one and this one. I'm going to put in another breakdown. I know I'm going to, so I'm not worried about that right now. I'm just worried about the ones that are describing the action more so. So there we got him coming. We're not following the same arc. He's coming down this way from that pose. Then he comes, and now he's coming through on a different arc this way. So those two arcs are different. And if you remember in the last one, I talked about you don't want to repeat your arcs because it makes it look robotic. So you try to stay away from that if you can, unless you're drawing a robot. But it's real common. I find myself where I do it, I just forget. I lose focus. That's really, animation is so much about focus. All art is. Okay, so now I'm going to come there, and how am I going to get him? Just don't like this drawing. So I'm going to come back in, and I think the size relationship is good. I'll leave some drag in the cheek. Maybe a little bit more of a down shot. I like that a bit more. Okay, then he's going to work up into this one. So he's got a change of arc there. And the momentum is carrying him throughout this way. Maybe I'll go beyond and then have him come back up into that. I think that'll work. So he's coming out beyond this drawing. And the nose is going to follow roughly an arc like so. Center line. Do you want them just to go into there? Yes, I will. So what this is going to be is it's not going to be an in-between. It's going to be, there's still going to be, even though he's coming up into this pose here, it's not going to be in between because I'm going to put some different little bit of inflections in here where he's coming up the nose, but on this, I'm going to have him open his eyes real wide, and I'm going to see how it works, you know. I don't know until I got to play around with it. I like to, you know, try different things, so I'm going to open the eyes wide, and then then the eyes will settle in here. So this is what you could consider an overshoot with the eyes. And now, as far as the mouth goes, I'm going to start the mouth open, and it's wide. Uh, I'm going to have this hand down. Of course, Wayne, because that's the hand that has the hat when off screen. But look, even if you do a foolish thing like that, all I had to do was realize it and then just erase that arm and put it down there. Okay, so I'm also going to and then on this one, I'm going to bring the hand down there, a little bent in it from that straight, and now we'll start to see the underside of the cap. Again, I'm just feeling it right here. A little bit of tongue that in. Eyebrows, everything's coming up together. Eyelid, eyebrow, eyebrow. Okay, looking at coming from there over to there. I'm going to favor it. To the last drawing. Fingers a little folded. This. Okay, so this is different breakdown because the everything. The hair is going a different arc. I'm opening up the eyes more. I'm favoring the mouth, just starting to open. This is favoring this drawing, and that's what makes them more breakdowns and not direct in-betweens. Now I could put a chart up there if I had an assistant and they had some experience. I could put a chart up there to tell them, but I feel like it is the animator's job actually to do all that. And let me put in one more. And this one, is this going to be a direct in between? Not really. It's just going to be describing still. And from this one, I'll do a pose test. I would have done a pose. I'll explain about pose tests later. And yeah, I'm gonna put a little eye blink in there. Okay, and the open mouth, maybe that will just be a direct in between. But the other elements, we got the closed eye. I'm not sure. I might want to keep dragging that hair a little bit there. And then it starts. See, it's still following this arc up like so. So I think I'll just keep that in there. I'm going to have the arm go there, and we're going to see a little bit of the hat as it's carrying through, and I think I'll drag that hat still more. Pretty much straight in between with this hand. Arm. Cuff. Him moving forward. Drag there. Okay, okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a pose test. Oh, no, not. That's right. I need to go back and put in this breakdown. And what I need to do is pause this, hopefully when I come back. Okay, a little interruption. Okay, where was I at? Let's scroll through this. Oh, so, okay, I'm going to put in another breakdown. Between this one and that. It's going in. Okay. Now what I want to make perfectly clear is the anticipation of the hand before it pinches the visor. I'm going to bring that thumb up to make it even clearer. Okay, so here's what we got. Let me, oops, didn't mean to hit that. Anyway, that's what we got. It's just going by super fast. But I started off with those two keys. Let's remember that. It was this one to this one, and then I just proceeded putting in breakdowns where I felt like they should belong. And within doing that, I was able to keep control of my volumes and also make the placement of the drawings, the different breakdowns. I could put them wherever I wanted to make one part of it drag a little more, another part of it just be direct in between, or another part that would just snap into it. And that's basically it. So now what we do is we do what is a pose test. Now what you get when you're working in the studios, you get an exposure sheet. This is for traditional animation. Exposure sheet, and it tells you how many feet of film that you're going to be animating, meaning every 16 frames is 1 foot of film. And then you get the foot count, and if it's 2.5 feet, that means it's going to be 40 frames. And you got to do the animation within that given time. But what I'm doing here, I don't want to get caught up in that. I want to just keep talking about animation and the different processes. So within here, I'm going to now do a pose test, and I'm going to hold the first drawing. Let's just hold it for, let's try 14. That works. Okay. Then on this one, let me go in here, up there. I'll hold, it matters what kind of animation I want to do, but I'll hold that for 4. If I want to make this a quick movement as he reaches down, you know what, I think I'll hold that one for 6. And then he's reaching down, and I'm just doing a pose test, even if they're on 2s. I don't care. And I think I'll hold this one because I want to show that. I'm going to see what happens. 4 frames, and then he pinches onto it. 2, 2, 2, 2, and the last frame I'll hold for 16. And now we'll take a look. Okay, so now he just, I had him sped up here, so it's a little bit faster, but you will notice that it's more controlled than the straight ahead animation. He comes down. I think I'm gonna change the timing on this. Should have held this for like 4, 2, and then maybe this last one 4. Okay, still not wild about it. I'm going to keep playing with the timing. Try this. I'm going to go back what I originally did. Okay, so now what I've done is I've created a pose test, and the next thing I do is I'm going to put in the in-betweens. Now, a pose test, understand a pose test is always, it's not fluid. It's just to get a feel for the timing and see if everything's working, and it's working good enough for this demonstration. But now what I'm going to do, I will show you. I will come in here. Here's drawing 1, drawing 15. One, two. Hold on. I might want to hold that for 4. Yeah, I kind of like that. So I changed that one drawing, so that's drawing 15, 21, 25, and it's not that all these would be circled, but I'm just doing this to make it easier. And then we got this drawing, which is 41. It's landing on frame 41, but it's going to change because I'm going to cushion from this drawing into this drawing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to steal some of these frames that this drawing 41, I'm going to steal some of those to make a nice little cushion in there. So I'll take, how many should I take? I'll take about 5. So 39, and I'm just going to make this real simple as we slow into it. On 2s, and now this is drawing 51. This is also the same thing at the beginning. So I'm holding this one, drawing 1 for 14 frames. I don't want to do 6 in-betweens from this into that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have them hold there. So what I do is I come here, and here's 15, because I don't want to do all those in-betweens, so I'm just going to have a slow out. That will be 13, 11, 9, that's plenty, and drawing 1 is going to be held for 8 exposures, and then we start moving at drawing 9. Okay, so everything, as far as I know, everything is numbered now. There we go. Alright. Oh, I did something strange there. Oh, that's the one where I stole from. Okay. So I'll come back here, and this just makes it easier for me because I got everything numbered. I am now just gonna move everything down. Don't pay any attention to this. I'm just gonna do the in-betweens real quick. This is the easiest way I know how in this particular app to do this. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna go there. My next drawing, obviously from 1:15, is going to be 13. Well, it's not the greatest scene in the world, but you get the idea. So I worked from pose to pose on this, and what we want to remember where I started out with those two main poses, and then what I did was I started to create the breakdowns of him going up a little bit in the beginning, and then of him reaching for the hat, then putting in more breakdowns to describe exactly how the story of the scene was going to be told. So, let me keep looking at this. There, there's a lot of problems in with it, but I am tired. I hope this helps you guys. That's basically the approach to pose animations. I hope this helps you guys. Thank you for watching, and I've been told, please, if you like this channel and you like what I do, please hit the like button and subscribe button. That's it. Bye-bye.